Welcome to the dressing room with our Arabiya news. We got a special guest filling in for Carlton today. A great friend of all of ours, a great player who had a great career. I hated playing against him. Mr. Shaun Wright-Phillips.
Hello, good.
You all right?
I'm very good, mate. You know what, right? Everyone who says about left backs you talk to, Ashley was the same.
Yeah.
Hated playing against him. Nightmare.
It was him and Aaron Lennon.
Yeah.
I used to call him like, it was like a bouncy ball, you know, like the rubber ball.
Yeah.
Even if he kicked him and he was falling over, he just bounced straight up and carry on running.
Yeah, I actually remember you doing that. Running. I was playing for Chelsea. Someone kicked you. You run, done a Sonic the Hedgehog roll, and still got the ball.
Mate. Rapid, score goals, everything.
Yeah.
And he'd always run back with me as well. Never used to get a look in.
Yeah.
I didn't like running back with you. I had no choice.
That's part of my game, to try and run people into the ground.
Run them into the ground, yeah. Yeah.
How you been, Geez? You be good?
Good, yeah, man, good. Just busy working as we do. A lot of talking now rather than them playing, of course.
Yeah.
They're getting used to it.
You do a lot for City, don't you?
Yeah, a lot for City and a lot for the PLP as well.
Yeah.
So it's more than enough for me.
What you
Trying to catch up with Joe. And
Mate, I'm
Trying to get him out of the night out, haven't we?
yeah, I know. We need
slotted
you
in,
on.
you've been too busy.
Yeah, he's been slotted in. You got too much work on.
you lot missed the last one.
We did.
Oh, we did. Yeah, me and you
Yeah.
missed that one, didn't we? Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What what's going to say to you, right? So you're working with Manchester City and you're doing like the ambassadorial stuff and you're doing the PLP stuff, which is the global arm of Premier League. Well, what do you prefer doing? Do you like breaking down the football games, or do you like doing the social stuff with Man City? What's your favourite?
Both, you know. I think the social stuff I'm always going to love because they do a lot with kids, especially when you go out to like India, places in South Korea and Japan. They're pretty cool trips. But the punditry stuff, like at first I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. And my first show, like they just kind of chucked me in the deep end. It was like with Dad and Alan Shearer. So I was like, wow. So I was a little bit nervous the first one, but now I'm starting to enjoy it and starting to do more in terms of like before I just let them kind of break there and pick the slots that you want to talk about. Whereas now I'm getting more comfortable and confident enough to like say, no, this is how I feel like it should have been. So I'm enjoying it as well.
I like the ones you do with your dad where it's Arsenal against City. I like them ones.
That's good, isn't it?
Brilliant. Someone's always having one up on the other, isn't they?
It's weird, especially the time in City where they were chasing City or City were behind and coming in. I've tried to be patient. Whereas Dad shoots early.
Yeah.
You know what he's like? His mouth just goes straight away. And I'm just like, cool. So when City, I just waited for my time and it just worked out perfectly.
It did. No, listen, it's good to have you. We missed the big man this week.
Yeah, we
though.
do. Yeah.
We do. Where is he?
I know where he is, but I did know where he is.
I see
He's abroad somewhere.
Yeah,
oh no, he's Sex team. He's over there.
Como.
Yeah, he's over there.
What a gig this geezer's got.
Oh yeah,
he's going to Como.
Although, mate, typical Carlton.
Yeah.
What do you think happened on the way to the airport?
Go on.
Got his passport.
Yeah.
Oh,
He calls me. He calls me. I think. Yeah, guess what? I knew straight away, you've got your passport. He went, yeah, do you know what? It's in my jacket. And last minute I thought, I'm going to wear a different jacket.
see, fashion.
He had to change his flights.
Well, listen, we wish. I don't know what he's doing there, but I know he'll have a nice glass of red wine and a bit of pasta when he's on Como, Lake Como.
It might have been the poker night.
Yes, that was good.
That played a part in that.
Yeah.
It was probably a bit fragile.
Yeah,
I'd say the next day.
we had a good night. Friday night, was it, Bridgie, around your house? Bridgie's...
Yeah, it was a long day. We must have started around 3 o'clock, finished around midnight.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a good night.
We had
he ended up clearing up.
Who? Cole, yeah. Cole, how did he win? Because there was some
And you?
poker play. Yeah, I know. How did I win? I had no clue what was going on. The only thing I've seen the poker players on telly and they wear the glasses, so you can't, because I've got there's no like hiding if I've got my eyes light up if I've got a hand. So we play him, but it was wild, wasn't it? It was a nice night. Music was playing.
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
11,
good.
12 of us? Carter come in.
There was a couple. My youngest came in and had a little game. He lasted about 10 minutes. Chev took him down.
Chev,
didn't he?
Yippee.
It was brutal. He was unlucky though. He was unlucky.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
played it well. Played it well.
Yeah.
He walked in. He went, it's like the mafia. There was a couple of serious poker players. Well, one definitely was Aaron, wasn't it? My old agent, Aaron. He plays a bit serious.
Yeah.
So I think playing with the likes of us was a bit difficult for him. He was like, what is going on?
Do you know what the wildest thing was? I was a few drinks in, so we was all very merry. This was late on, and Wendy come in and said, Carlton's on The Chase. So there was a rerun of Carlton on The Chase, and we got to get this on the screen. So we got the big man on the screen, and it was him, and he was chatting to Bradley Walsh, and I was thinking, this ain't going to go well for him. I was thinking, but he done well, didn't he?
Mate, fair play.
He got onto the board.
There ain't no chance I'm going on that.
But listen, he answered questions. I didn't know he had them in the locker, and it was good to see. It was a good night. What have
You've been up too much,
mate? Well, I had my first experience of trolling people back on Instagram. Yeah.
I see someone called you a sausage.
Yeah.
This was after you saying PSG would go far in this competition and they were coming up against Liverpool, right?
What fans need to listen? I've stayed out of all of that.
What they need to realise is you were right.
Yeah, no, they need to listen. But what they need to realise, right? We get paid for giving our opinion, right?
Yeah.
I've got to be unbiased. Right? I watched PSG play twice at the back end of they were dreadful at the start, but I watched them and I could just see it all coming together. And I saw Liverpool and they started to look a bit frail. Like there was a couple of results leading up to that game where I thought, and then the first leg, I think, was the biggest smash and grab I'd seen in football. So I just had to say what I see. I thought PSG would win the game. And then I don't usually go on and look at it, but then I was getting opened up. I thought, let me give these people a little bit. So, I think it's all tongue in cheek.
You were enjoying it, weren't you? You enjoyed it. I could tell by the messaging.
There was a lot of people that were enjoying it, but it's all. Listen, I've got nothing against Liverpool. You know, I played for them. You know, it didn't work out for me there, but people don't like it. Even if you say you think their team's going to get beat, I wasn't even saying their team's amazing, but I thought PSG would do them, and they did. So. No.
You're right again. You're right again, mate. You're right again.
I can't help myself, mate. Yeah, but
my kid had the independent school, the prep schools.
That was good, geez.
Championship this weekend.
Yeah.
So they ended up winning it. So Park was ill all week, and a few of the kids were ill all week, to be fair. But they all ended up going. Park was just about feeling all right, and a couple of kids battled through it. But mate, it's brilliant, honestly. I'm not going to lie, there was tears of joy.
Really?
There's a couple of teardrops that come down just to see his face afterwards. But it went to penalties in the quarters and the semis and the final. Yeah. And to be honest, they were deserved winners.
Yeah.
Like, they had a few chances in the semis and the finals that they dominated it. But he made a save in the quarters, semis, and the final. Like in the final, he tipped a save onto the post.
I'm trying to figure this out as well.
He's a goalkeeper, right? So he were in the group chat and he's sending us. He's made the save, great. The quarterfinals, like Bridgie weren't. It's like there's like clapping, like hey, like because you have to be respectful. Final comes, Parker's in goal, and he's filming it, and I said,
I am one of those people that stays really quiet as a parent. I stay really quiet, I encourage him a little bit. But I couldn't help myself. I was absolutely buzzing for him. It was just a smile on his face. It's for all of them. Do you know what? They all played so well. They're a great school team.
Yeah.
They can all read the game really well.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was a couple of kids. One of the kids played the first, I think his name's Arlo. He played the first 3 or 4 games. He couldn't play anymore because he'd been ill all week and he was just gone. Luckily, Parker was in goal and don't have to run around as much. But yeah, mate, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And also, I get more emotional and probably more nervous than I did ever playing like that. Watching your kid play.
I'm the opposite. I'm quite like just laid back, just chilled.
Yeah, no, I'm like...
Your boys...
But you've always been horizontal. He's always been horizontal, right?
Yeah. Do you know when you watch DiMaggio play? Yeah. He's 23 now, right?
Yeah, this year.
So.
He's 24 this year.
Yeah, talk to me about that experience because we were at the grassroots level watching our boys play, and I must admit, I get nervous and a bit worried. What are you like watching him play?
I'm so chill, just like I'm just relaxed. I just sit there. Normally, like the first proper game I went to, what he played went on loan to Blackburn. Yeah, they played against Arsenal. And it was at Ewood Park, and I obviously went all the way up, went to the game. Yeah. And he actually scored. Oh, like mate. Everybody like jumped up. Yeah. I just got up all calm and just like...
Really?
Yeah, it's just always like...
See, I'm like that. When he does something well, I'm very calm. But I think it was the final. I did cheer more.
Really?
A lot, yeah. But mate.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a habit. Same when I go and see my other.
But secretly inside, you're buzzing. You're buzzing.
Inside,
celebration.
Mad buzzing, yeah.
Do you know, it's different. I remember chatting to Ida about it, because all 3 of Ida's boys are professionals, aren't they, like, doing their thing. And he was like, I said, it must be great, mate. He's like, it's stressful, like, you're worried about him getting injured, or like, he says on a Saturday night he'll have phone calls and one of them would be happy because he's played well, the other one would ring his dad. I'm saying, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm like, so that's interesting. But so what have you been up to this week?
Well, apart from on Friday, when we did the podcast, and then had a few errands to run Friday because I was going up to watch the game, the City game, v Brighton game, which was for me was a decent game. Yeah. And just caught up with some co-workers and had a few drinks really, and then tried to make sure I was back down in London to watch the cup final. So
a few drinks for you, straight Hennessy's, right? That's your drink, right?
Yeah.
Straight Hennessy.
Oh, no.
Strong.
He's hardcore, isn't it?
How can you drink that, like?
I don't know.
Just your fingers.
Just know when. Like it's just not. I know when it's home time.
It's a sipping drink, though, isn't it? It's a sipping drink.
Yeah, but it depends.
It depends how many you had. To be fair, we've had some good nights out as a trio, I reckon, along our time together.
More to come.
Yeah,
we ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what
me and you've had quite a few together, to be fair. Always led me astray.
Do you know what he does me, right?
He led me astray as well, actually.
No. Do you know what he does me, right? He goes, if I say, he says, you're coming out, I go, I can't come back, go that. And he go, have you worked out, like, the average age people die is like 75, so we've only got like 35 summers left.
I worked out over the next 10 years.
He's got a graph.
Over the next 10 years, if we only went out once a month, that ain't a lot, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 120 nights
he got
left.
Proper in depth. He's like, the last 10, 15 years, you're not going to be really like...
good nights.
You're going to be struggling. You might be... And he's like, all right, geez, I'll come then.
Well,
the best thing about poker at the weekend...
My mum's still going out now, so we've got plenty of time.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Maybe we've got 200 nights if we go out once a month. Oh, actually, at poker at the weekend, it was like, when people were going out...
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone to go home, so I just kept buying them back in. I ended up clearing up. I brought him back in 3 times.
It's good. I felt for Frank because we was in the garden playing poker and everyone kept going into the main house like to get fabs. Like for some reason, everyone's on fabs.
My miss going, wild night out. Everyone's having a fab ice cream. It was Carl that brought them. Our Welsh mate Carl, who's been talked about a bit on this pod before, but he brought them.
Yeah, they went down well, the fabs.
They did, to be fair. They disappeared. They disappeared.
Should we get onto a bit of football?
Final. Well, I didn't see it, obviously, because I was down watching. I see the highlights. The only place to start. I mean, you couldn't. I was driving through London at 8 in the morning, and there was Geordies everywhere.
When I came back to Manchester.
Do you know what I mean?
First trophy in 70 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
First trophy in 70 years. That's like, if you're alive and you've seen Newcastle win a trophy, you've got to be 75 plus to remember it. That's like, there's none of them. None of these lads have seen their team win a trophy. So it was full of emotion.
Dan Burn getting a goal, Newcastle boys, call up to England, mate.
Sometimes you think in life, you think to yourself, there must be a plan from higher something else, because for them, a Newcastle lad who's found himself there, he's gone round the houses, gone lower leagues, gone into Brighton. He's a proper Geordie boy. Yeah. His first call up for England at 32, and he's playing a cup final, and he scores the pivotal goal. Do you know what I mean? It's like, football that's why we love football. It just brings up these fairy tales all the time, and even the most hardened Liverpool fans could be forgiven. They must have had something in their heart that's going, all right, we've had our, we've won trophies, and we're going to win trophies, but if we're going to lose to anyone, it would have to be to Newcastle, wouldn't it? What do you think of that, Ray?
Newcastle just bullied them.
Yeah,
I thought they were the best team all over the park, every area. Something I thought they deserved. A few people asked me, I've got a few friends that are Liverpool fans, and I said to them before, like a few weeks ago, I said, I think Newcastle can beat you. And the first thing they said, no chance.
I think as well, coming off that, the week they've just had as well with PSG, it's been a tough week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's obviously played a little bit.
One thing you found out yesterday as well is true. Liverpool don't like direct football. They couldn't deal with it. because it was bypassing that midfield every time they tried to go forward. It just came straight back. Their players all over the place.
But
Salah was kept quiet.
Yeah, they
Again.
played that really well, though, didn't they? I thought they were aggressive.
I'm going to ask you about that, like the direct style of play, because Eddie Howe come out after the game publicly and was saying that they played them, they kept their powder dry, I think is the expression he used, which means they played Liverpool 3 weeks ago, and all of their set pieces that they've been working on, the tactics of how they're going to play Newcastle in the final, they didn't do that day. And Liverpool sort of won a comfortable game 2-0.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that Eddie Howe's tactics in the game was the decisive factor, do you think?
Spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, massively. I think he won that battle from the first 10 minutes. And I think what set the stall out as well. Remember when we used to play back in the day and the keepers coming out 20 yards outside his box to take a free kick and kind of just lump it into the corner? You could see they couldn't deal with it because it put Konate in a lot of problems. Kwanzaa had to deal with that as well as normal wing play, which he's not used to playing out there. And it put Virgil in awkward positions because people were getting caught out, getting stuck under the ball. He's having to cover. And there was just, I found there was space everywhere. And it's probably the worst game I've seen Gravenberch played. And that's just because Joe Linton, Tonali and Bruno was so good in that midfield. Yeah. They were aggressive. They kicked them.
Yeah.
They just didn't let them settle. Yeah, they just didn't let them settle.
Well,
and they can play football on top of it. So as well as playing direct, if they need to hold the ball, they did that.
Yeah, talking about the PSG game where they had the midfield of Vitinha, João Neves and Ruiz, and in Newcastle with Bruno, Tonali and Joe Linton, that's three imposing midfields, and they've lost them 2 battles in there, both games, didn't they? Bridgie, what do you think about Van Dijk and Konate dealing with the long balls? Do you think the modern footballer, because it's, when
it doesn't happen as much,
doesn't happen as much. I'm just thinking, when we played, there were so many teams. I'm thinking your Boltons, your Blackburns, your Evertons, your Stokes. There's at least 5 or 6, 7 teams that you knew that was coming, so you had to find a way of dealing with it. They don't deal with it as much.
They did it a lot.
Yeah.
But other teams did it as well, but maybe not as much. So even when I was at Southampton, I met, kick-off. It was always knock it back.
In the corner.
Smash it up over the fullback's head, the smallest fullback, and get on the end of it. And sometimes if there was nothing on, that clipping behind for someone to run onto.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a great one. I think now you're seeing some goals that are coming from everyone trying to play too much.
Yeah.
And it's getting that right, and it's hard. And I think that ball in behind, especially if you've got a striker or a winger that can run onto it.
Yeah.
And Newcastle got 3 of those. Murphy, Isaac, and Barnes that played yesterday.
Runners.
They go in behind. And you know as a defender, that's the worst run, when attackers keep stretching the game.
A bit more pressure, isn't it? You're under pressure to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that Friday about running as a winger, running without the ball. I mean, I wasn't a winger. I didn't play wing until I went to Chelsea at 2022. That season, I was playing midfield before, with first year with Richie, like 4-4-2, wasn't it? Yeah. So and I had to learn them runs in behind, but that was the difference, wasn't it? Newcastle had beautiful timing on the runs, getting in behind.
Massive difference. I think Salah didn't get much play. They didn't even give their midfield time to get their head up and play those raking passes, and I just felt Liverpool couldn't deal with it. And then you could see it another way as well. They didn't even look like, if that ain't working, all right, we're going to do this. They just stuck to it, and that's where Eddie was clever. He says, right, you know how we play this way, but can you deal with how we play that way? And they couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, it's true.
So I've brought this up a couple of times, but just quickly, yellow cards and how easy they are to get now. Yeah. A winger like you, as I said, an old school winger, you give them the ball and get at the fullback. Well, mate, they could end up being so many more sendings off. I don't think you see as much as that anymore, where it goes wide, you get the ball, get at the fullback.
It's starting to slowly come back in terms of the wingers that are in play now rather than, you say, 3 years ago. There's a lot more wingers now that are trying to make things happen at another thing. I think City's got a few like that. Obviously, you've got Brighton's got a load like that. Yeah. Liverpool in spells with Diaz is quite like that. Salah, if you class him as a winger. So that they are there. Yeah. I think it's just more the way teams play. Yeah. City have been working on, from what I've seen in games, they're trying to isolate Doku so he's one-on-one. So they'll play nice football, it might go to him, it'll come out, it'll go back the other side, but then they'll play a long diagonal back to him when he is in the space to try and make things happen.
Yeah. I just want to quick give a shout out to Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall and that, because you know, we've talked about young English coaches. Stevie's gone out to Saudi, and Frank's doing really well now. Eddie's at the top of that list, isn't he, really? Like, but do you know it's been 17 years since an English manager has won a trophy.
Harry Redknapp, right?
Harry Redknapp. I mean, it's incredible, and it's something that we need to put right, and it's something that we need to with the FA. I think that I've been.
His name's been touted for the England job before, isn't it?
Yeah,
Eddie. Yeah. But you know, it can't just be Eddie Howe. There has to be more. And Frank's coming back up now, and we've got Scotty Parker, and we've got Ashley Cole. Desperate for a job. Listen, he's with England, he's doing that. But listen, at some point when he's finished with England, he's going to want to do it himself and have a go, I'm sure. So, I mean, it's just something that we need to get going, like, because 17 years, and it's like that blew my mind. What do you think of that, Bridgie?
It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I've always said, as an England team, we should have an England manager, and so you're going to have to give English coaches, managers a chance, aren't you?
God.
It's because there's so much money in the game. People just want the best of what's, in many ways, what's already out there doing well, because it's too risky.
I also think
to
if you
give
can
a
have,
chance.
like with Ash, he obviously loves the game. Like we spoke about him before, how much he studies. You know, he's like when you were away with him, he had his laptop out and everything, and he's studying. If you go for a manager that is more established, it don't always work, does it? And then the sacking, it costs you a fortune. You take Ashford, he might not be in as much money, but the deal might not be as big. The risk ain't as big a little bit, but you'll know you're getting someone who knows the game. I think it'd be great for a club to take a chance on someone.
I'm praying they start taking a chance on English managers, because like, what is there, 2 in the league?
Yeah,
it's only 2 in the Premier League.
It's unacceptable, isn't it?
It's not good enough.
Like, listen, that brings us on to Thomas Tuchel's England squad, which has raised a few eyebrows. Listen, your eyes are drawn straight away to Jordan Henderson coming back. I just want what do you make of that?
Look, I think he's a fantastic player and had a fantastic career, but I just think sometimes it's time for change. He hasn't been in the squad for a while. I think Wharton, it has been unbelievable before he got injured and since he's come back from the injury. So I didn't understand how that call-up came before, that sort of thing. But everybody in football has their own opinion. And just as we're sitting there's most probably other managers and coaches saying the exact same thing we're saying, that
you're never
how the squad is. You can't really please everyone. So
why do you think the main reason is in there? Just because you've been playing well?
Leadership.
Leadership.
Leadership. My thing with Thomas Tuchel, because first of all, I think Thomas Tuchel's a fantastic manager, and he was brilliant when he was at Chelsea, and I was in and around doing a bit of the ambassador stuff for the club. He was brilliant with me. You could see as soon as I met him, I could tell why he's top drawer. He was personable. He looked like the lads had the lads eating at the palm of his hand. So he's top, right? You know, forget the fact that, you know, the FA they've gone backtracked on themselves and gone, we're never going to go with a non-English manager. Now we've got a German manager, right? That's going to be a problem. Not a problem, but that's going to be something which will always rear its ugly head every time. The press will use that to beat him with and beat England every time there's a bad result. But forget that. I look at this squad, and what I see physicality, which is what I saw in I'm just going to run you through, like, the midfield. Bellingham 6'2", Eze 6 foot, Jordan Henderson 6'1", Curtis Jones, he's 6 foot, Declan Rice 6 foot, Morgan Rogers 6. That's it. The midfield's huge, right? Bowen and the forwards of pace and aggression. Bowen, Gordon, pace. Foden's quick. Rashford's coming back in, he's quick. Solanke can move. You know, the only one there who you wouldn't say is a flying machine is Harry Kane, and he's Harry Kane. Carl Walker's still in the back. Quansah's a big lad. Liverpool, Miles Lewis, physicality. So I think he's looked at it, and I think he's gone, right, I've got 18 months to go, right? Which is an absurd contract to give an England manager, right? You think to yourself, right, an England manager should be on a long contract, and it should be a steady, like 3-4 squads where you go, right, because there's a little bit of trying to win the tournament, and there's a little bit of trying to win the tournament after that. So you bring players in. He's gone, these players are going to, in 18 months' time, he's gone, he's gone, these players are going to win me the World Cup, and that's the only thing that's going to keep my job. So I don't understand the mindset behind that. And he's just gone for what he knows. He's going to be we're going to be a team that's going to play powerful, physical, almost German-like football. Yeah. That's my opinion on the whole England squad.
If that wins us the World Cup, we take it, no?
Yeah, I'll be getting my lederhosens on. Thank the Germans. I'll be right.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I get that feeling, you know, because there's so many people against the squad and a bit surprised that.
Yeah.
Just think he's going to end up just doing well.
You know, he's always been, as a manager, defensively sound.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing because we have the attackers to unlock pretty much any door they need to. It's just whether he can get them both linked up together and working well together. And I think England will be fine, man.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what was... Listen, is there anyone in that squad, Bridgie, that jumps out at you that you think you're either buzzing for or you're...
You know what I'm buzzing for?
Go on.
And a lot of people aren't.
Go on.
Is Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
And it's just because I really like him as a player. And there's going to be some people saying he hasn't done enough since moving, but you can just see the difference in him. And I'd love for him to just get on that pitch and just be flying. Because he's a dangerous player, mate.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous player.
You as a fullback, you know you wouldn't want to mark him, would you?
No,
you wouldn't want to mark him.
Those quick players, they're just always dangerous. When you've always got to stay switched on. It's a cat and mouse like that, innit? It's like if I give him too much space, mate, it's just dangerous. Just he's past you and he's gone. And I think that's
Gibbs White's another one, isn't it?
Yeah. Gibbs White's. What do you make of him? Because I think he's mustard.
He's unbelievable.
Just
he's been unlucky in
he is unbelievable. He does everything for somebody that you would so-called call a flair player.
Yeah.
He gets stuck in.
Yeah.
He does the dirty side of the game well and still has the energy and finesse to pick out the right passes. And I think he's brilliant.
He's an old school midfielder. Like he's doing what he's playing as like if people say he's a number 10. The work he does off the ball.
It's scary, mate.
When I was playing midfield. Like that was the standard.
Base,
you had to do that like, before you'd even be considered to even see the ball. But he's doing it, and I credit his manager as well for helping him develop him. You know, sometimes
Watkins, is he injured?
Good question. I think he's been in and out, isn't he? He's not.
Right. He's not injured.
He's not injured.
No. I think that's harsh.
That's harsh. Yeah.
I don't know. He's competing against what, Kane? So his likelihood is he isn't going to start anyway.
Right.
And I don't think Ollie this year has been the Ollie of last season in terms of he's not taking the chances he was taking last year. Now I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to England squads, we've all been there.
Yeah.
If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you get left out.
Yeah.
You would take Solanke over Watkins as well.
No, because he's just come back fit as well. I don't think I think he's played one game.
Yeah.
And that was a game on the weekend. So even that's a tough one as well.
Yeah. What do you make for his sort of, not his dip in form, Watkins, but he's just coming off of his levels? Do you think he's, because I personally think, you know, do you remember there's rumours of the Arsenal move late, and for a kid from that sort of, you know, I think he's a North London. He's an Arsenal. He's an Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan. You know, and he's at that age where that's his last opportunity to go there. I mean, I personally think the Villa and Arsenal at the moment, there's not much in it. They're both in the last eight of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Arsenal are ahead of them, but you know, there's exciting things happening at Villa as well. But I think personally, and it happens to all players. You know, there's an enormous sniff of you leaving. And then it doesn't happen for whatever reason, which I think was a bit cheeky by Arsenal as well. I think it was a bid to appease their fans. Like, look, we're trying type thing. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's just turned, and he should just, and this will be a little kick in the balls for him to think,
I need to deflate him,
I need to finish this season well. But there's lots of exciting things to go on.
Did you see the Dele Alli sending off at the weekend?
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures. That's about it.
Mate.
I had to rewatch it a few times. I was like, oh.
What?
At first, I was like, what's going on there? It's not that bad. Then you watch it again, you're like, I thought, what's going on? What's he thinking?
Didn't he say that he just tried to like
tried to
clip
clip
him?
his heel?
Yeah,
But then I
tried to
thought to
clip his
myself,
heels.
and I thought, why would you do that though?
Yeah. But the thing is,
bit
like,
like-
if you ain't played football for 2 years like him, you've got to give him a bit of a
breathing space.
Yeah, you have
Like,
got.
you're old-
I was gutted because I've just been rooting for him to
Yeah,
do
we
well.
all-
Whether
yeah.
he's gone through.
We all been rooting about him. I mean, what do you? Because we all know the. Listen, the whole of this country. One thing we do like in this country is we like to kick when they're up there. We like to kick them down, but we also, when somebody opens up like he has, I think everyone, you know, is talk about his troubled youth would have wanted him to do well at the weekend. Is that because that's what I personally.
Oh no, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I just took the positives out of it.
Yeah.
He's on the pitch. He made an
Yeah, he's on-
appearance.
yeah.
And there's something for him to build from now.
I think he still have a chance with.
Yeah,
this,
there's something for him
definitely.
to build from now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
just learn from it.
and well, listen, what worse? And Carlton's in Como now, so we can
He'll be putting his arm around having a right chat with him, he will.
Yeah.
That'd do in the world of good, that will.
Dele,
Come on, Carlton.
Dele, if you're listening, stay away from the big man and Lake Como.
No,
He'll look after you.
Yeah, he will look after him, definitely. He'll look after him.
100%. Listen, this game frustrated the life out of me, the Arsenal-Chelsea game, 1-0. Because, you know, I covered Chelsea Thursday night in Copenhagen, and they just made hard work of it. You know, it changed. I feel for Enzo because Jackson's out the side, and I know your dad's a big fan of Jackson. He's been rooting for him, isn't he, like the whole time. But he's become a better player because everyone who gets into that position for Chelsea and that just hasn't, like Nkunku hasn't taken his opportunity.
Yeah.
Neto's a winger, he's a great player, but he's not a centre forward. And that's what it looked like. Arsenal won the game. Marino's first half header from an Odegaard's corner, another set piece. It's 51 match drought for Arsenal in scoring from corners from their 15th corner goal of the season. Chelsea struggles. I think Righty, I think it's that centre forward position. You know, both teams, but Chelsea without Jackson just look toothless.
Yeah, I can most definitely agree. Even before Cole Palmer gets injured, I think since Cole Palmer there was a spell that he made something like 44 chances and only one assist come off that. Yeah. So it tells you what they are lacking in those areas. But then also, if Jackson isn't playing when Cole's playing, it feels like Cole doesn't influence the game as well as he has as well, because that's one of his players he always looks for to stretch the game and open the game up. So it's been a difficult time. But even, Joe, you speak about like the attack. I just think the defence, man, like against Arsenal, looks so bad. Like there's no leaders. I think I would have kept Thiago. Because if there's anybody those centre-backs can learn from, he's the best person for that to happen.
Yeah. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. You think they lack a bit of experience as well? This whole squad,
Yeah, I do. The whole squad. I know we've talked about Arsenal as well, like having and getting a striker, but that doesn't complete them, does it? When I look at them, I don't think.
They look miles off it as well.
I don't think that completes them. I think they're far off Liverpool. When you look at them now, I don't think a striker makes them like that's it now. I don't think it does.
I had the exact same conversation with some friends.
Really?
And I just use City as an example.
Really?
City got Haaland. He scored 20 plus goals. They're still sitting fourth.
True. So it's not the answer.
Strikers, it hasn't been the answer for them 2 years when they finished second before this time, because you still need other people to score goals and to play well.
Not many of them just look solid, do they?
Yeah.
They look solid or...
Yeah, look for them little moments. When you're looking at Chelsea as a defensive unit, look for the moments where the ball's gone into the forward and there's not enough winning of the duels, like dominating. And then on the second balls, there's not enough that in that area. They do look a bit fragile. And you know, they're young, so they can develop. And they can get better, but they would be better with an experienced player playing next to them. I want to quickly ask you, right, about, because I did the Arsenal game on Wednesday, and Raheem played, and he set up 2 goals, and he come over to the desk to talk to us. And I know Raheem from Liverpool, and he's such a great lad. And what a fantastic career he's done. Listen, if he finishes tomorrow, he's done enough in football. He's done absolutely brilliant. I mean, what do you make of first of all him? What's happening with him at Arsenal, and can you see? Do you think he can turn it round, or do you think there's?
Yeah, he can definitely turn it round.
Yeah,
I think there's so much difference in all three teams, City, Chelsea and Arsenal, the way they all play. I think when he was at City, he had places where he needed to be, like when Kevin put the ball in the box, he was always in the areas to tap the ball in. He's kind of, when he's signed now for Arsenal, he's kind of gone back to how it used to be when he was at Liverpool, where he had to create a lot more individually, and for not dribbling all the time for 3-4 years. It's only normal you're going to be a little bit rusty.
But do you ever find it difficult when you're changing teams?
Oh God,
It's hard, isn't it? That's what I mean. It's really hard.
When I came to meet you guys at Chelsea, like, we played football completely different. Before it was like, give the ball to Shaun. Wherever he is on the pitch, he's going to get the ball. He's going to run all the way out there. I come to Chelsea, I don't need to be all the way back there because I've got players that are going to give me the ball. So then I had to figure out, right, this defender is way closer to me than he normally is. So that's when I had to start learning to play in the pockets. And people always used to say to me, you don't play the same way. I said, if anything, my football IQ's got a lot better since joining Chelsea, because now I've realised I don't have to do it all on my own.
It's difficult. Like, imagine being a foreigner as well and changing, and people just expecting you to like just do what you were doing there. It's just so different.
Yeah, it is. And it can tweak. It's interesting you say that, because I remember when I went to Liverpool under Roy, and I've gone from Chelsea, Carlo Ancelotti, and it was like, you're popping it. I'm rolling into pockets. I'm starting in a 10 yards further up the pitch. With most of the time we had possession of the ball. If I come in, people, and then Roy, it was back to what I was doing at under 15s for England, 4-4-2, shuffling across. And I'm like, mate, I ain't quick enough or powerful enough anymore to do that. And then he wanted me to run 20 yards up the pitch and then dribble past someone. My legs were going a little bit, but I just found it so tough. Do you know what I mean? So Raheem's leaving that Manchester City thing, we were so entrenched with everything they were doing, come to Chelsea, which was a mess when he walked into the door.
And he did well at the start.
Yeah, he did all right, man. He did, like, because he's a top player. But then again to Arsenal under a different style. So it is. So you got to give. It's hard to adjust for Raheem. It is. Yeah, changing the systems can be difficult. Raheem's having at Arsenal, but we wish him well. Sticking with another London derby, which gnaws me right up at the weekend because it's Fulham at home and it's traffic everywhere. Fulham 2, Spurs 0. I don't know if that's relevant to anybody listening in the Middle East or anything, but it just annoyed me because it took me an hour to get back from my son's football, But Fulham secured a vital 2-0 win over Spurs, marking their second consecutive home victory over Spurs for the first time in 19 years, strengthening their bid for Europe. They've crept up there, Fulham, haven't they, Bridget?
Yeah, creeping up there.
Another one of your old clubs.
Another old club. I played for a few. I enjoyed it there, to be fair. I liked it there. It was after my injury.
Yeah.
When I broke my leg.
Who's the manager?
Chris Coleman.
Oh, what a guy.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for team morale.
I've heard this. I've heard this.
But players reacted well to it. He was good.
Yeah.
He was good. I remember a couple of, I don't know if it's mid-season breaks and that, but he'd made sure all the lads went out, do you know what I mean? And, we'd work hard, but what was good about him was it was short.
Yeah.
So we'd make sure we did the hard work and then it was right, go and enjoy yourself, bit of team morale and stuff.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I remember seeing him in Cobham or at Esher early. He'd been out the night before and he was a manager of Premier League club. And I remember thinking, what are you still going out for? You're a manager now. You're in your 40s. I'm like, now I know why.
Some of the managers did, though, didn't they have a few drinks? I think it was Big Sam. Big Sam was one of them.
Oh, Big Sam loved it, didn't he?
It's sometimes good for team morale, definitely.
Yeah.
A little bit, not too much.
Right time,
these
then.
days, it ain't happening, is it? You can't do it these days with the amount of games that are being played and stuff.
I know. Well, listen, it's a great result for Fulham. Lifts them to 8th, just 4 points off of a 4th place, which is incredible. He's done a great job. Big trouble for Spurs, though, Righty, again, because they come through
left out. On the bench, Son.
Like, and just like he's like he's enjoying the stress and the strain of it. Like, he had a great result on Thursday. No, you had a great result on Thursday. It looked like at White Hart Lane they were buzzing again. They're rocking and rolling, really dominant performance. And then this happens, and there's pressure on him again. What do you think?
First of all, even if he played all those players, the way Fulham are playing this season, the result could have still possibly have been the same. Because out of both teams, I would say Fulham consistently have been a better team this year. But to leave the players out that he's left at this part of the season where you're trying not to finish 15th or 16th, you want to try and at least work a little bit, finish the season on a high. I know for whatever reason it's just not working, but he's another manager that doesn't. He's quite stubborn in terms of the way he wants Spurs to play, which we all understand.
Yeah.
But when you haven't got Van der Ven playing, that can make those recovery runs and make those tackles with that highlight.
Yeah.
In some way, you might have to tailor make that system that you want to play, especially if you're not putting pressure in the midfield, because people are just going to play the ball over the top.
Getting back to the poker theme, right? It feels like with Ange, right? He ain't going to do that. Everyone says he needs to adjust it. He's not going to do that. So he's caught in a bluff. Now, this happened to me Friday night. I've gone, right, I'm going to bluff. And even though I had my shades on, I was like, I've got to still go. I had like a 7-eye or something. So it's like that. He's like, right, I'm not, if he turns around to the lads and goes, right now, we're in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We're gone in the league. Now let's change it. The lads will, so he has to keep playing the way. He's banking on Romero and Van der Ven staying fit and performance is gradually building. They got a tricky game against Eintracht Frankfurt in the quarterfinals. But do you think if they win the Europa League, they get Champions League football? If they don't win the Europa League, do you think he's gone, Bridgie?
I just don't know.
I don't think so.
You don't think he's gone?
You just don't know.
They'll finish 14th in the league.
I know they. I know what you're saying. I think first of all, I think Levy's made it clear in a few things that he's kind of backing him and he feels sorry for him because of all their injuries.
All the injuries and everything.
I feel like they've half written off this season. They know they can't get relegated. So it seems like even the players he's left out, he's focusing on Europe.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of not washing their hands with the Premier League, but it's not priority right
now.
I actually think maybe I think it'd be there next season, and it just depends how that goes.
Yeah.
That's the season.
Yeah.
Getting everyone back, everyone fit, and that's the season. I reckon if it doesn't start well,
that's serious pressure.
Then that's serious pressure. I think with everything, like it says, the injuries they've had, I think it's how they start next year.
My thing with injuries, whenever a manager gets a massive injury crisis like that, I just can't help myself. I just think the manager has to take the responsibility. He's in control of the sports science department. He should be. He's in control of what the lads are doing on the pitch. Usually when you have that much injury, it's usually down to fatigue, overplay, whatever you're doing with players. And I just think so.
That's one thing that's come up before is, the fatigue part.
Yeah.
Is his training.
Yeah.
Been mentioned before.
Is it really?
Quite intense.
A bit much, yeah.
Really? Well, listen, I just think injuries, but when it's an injury crisis and it's been going on for so long, I think you're the manager. If you give manager, you got to. I guarantee there's about 100 people in that building of various jobs who at the moment know. If Daniel Levy walked in and goes, "Whose fault is it that all of these are injured?" and they all go pointing at each other, and that's the same because that's a shame at every football club. And the people that miss out are the players because no player likes to be injured, and the fans because they're missing out on these top players. So that needs to be done. But listen, I still think they can win the Europa League, as mad as it sounds. And Fulham could still get the Champions League. But moving on quickly, I want to ask you, there was something hilarious happened in another derby up the road, where Vaclav Cherny sprayed a bunch of Celtic fans with water as he celebrated Hamza's dramatic winning goal. Now listen, you have to put this in context because it's the first time that the away fans have been brought into an Old Firm game for a long, long time. So it's almost like they've been punished. They've been punished, the fans, and now they've been a bit good behaviour. They can come in and watch, and then it's just got there's so much passion in a derby, and that it's brilliant. They see him just run behind Barry Ferguson, and the fans probably giving him stick, and he's just gone. You know, the big water bottle. Right in the mush for the fans. They just all keep them.
That's brilliant, man.
I think it's brilliant.
It's great. It's brilliant,
Yeah,
isn't it? But I tell you what, brave as well. Mate. It's brave. I remember being up in Scotland. We played in is it Soccer Sixes?
Yeah. Oh God,
Scottish fans, mate.
Yeah.
I know it was us and it was England, but the hatred.
I know.
I'm like, it was massive.
Yeah, that was
like Scottish fans. You have to be very careful, mate. You know what I mean?
That was.
Don't go out for a few weeks. I'd say stay in. Be very careful.
Yeah.
Take a crew with you.
Vaclav. Give it a rest for a few weeks, mate. It was brilliant banter. And listen,
I love it.
I hope. Listen, I don't mind a bit.
Have you ever
back
had
and
anything
forth.
like that?
I have, but I want to quickly go back to the Star Sixes we played because 6 years ago, right?
A long time ago, yeah.
And I just retired, and we played in this six-a-side tournament in the Glasgow Arena. And it was like Barry Ferguson was playing for Scotland, wasn't he? So he was the captain of it. But right, you must have still been playing. It was.
I got an invite to it.
You should have come, mate. It was brilliant. We had a great weekend.
Yeah.
Great weekend.
Yeah. We weren't the most professional team, I would say.
So it's England, Scotland, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and the rest of the world over 3 days, a seven-a-side tournament. And so it was all staying in a hotel. So the social was great. Everyone was in the bar having a right go. And we were playing the next day. And it was all nice, like the competitive in the game. But Barry Ferguson was a Scotland captain, and they weren't taking part in the social. Like
ice baths, wall downs,
they were training. They were going, they trained up to it, so they were taking it proper seriously. So like, I think at one point, at one of the dues, they left early, and I was like, what are they going home for? This party's just starting. The next day, England, Scotland in the arena. We're thinking it's all friendly, crashing into tackles. It was like. It was the atmosphere was unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like
we got battered as well, I think, didn't we?
We got beat, right? So we won the other 3 games, and
Got beat, so we went through.
The Jocks beat us, right? Then we needed to win. So then we went. When we went to a night out.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of chirpiness, right? And then you're like, right, we got to turn up now tomorrow. Bridgie,
we
let's
didn't
go
think that
out
in the
early.
night though. No. We got to bed early. I know that.
And Bridgie, he's like, we'll be all right. So we'd gone out to like 2, 3 in the morning, right? But then the next day you woke up. We couldn't even find the whole team at one point, could we? and it was a TV show.
The night was blurry.
The night was blurry. And we ended up, we had to beat Ireland, I think, to go through to the final to knock Scotland out.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning 1-0. And it was like we just won the World Cup. We're giving it to the crowds. It's like proper pantomime, wasn't it?
But we wanted to win it so bad because we were just getting abused constantly.
Yeah, abused. Yeah.
So as much as we were going out and enjoy ourselves, we were all waking up with hangovers, but like we wanted to win so bad, didn't we? Everyone in the team, because we were just getting abused constantly.
I know.
And we ended up winning.
Yeah,
we went out every night.
we went out every night. We ended up winning. It was
obviously not saying the way to go forward, but once you're retired, it's not. Enjoy yourself.
I know. Yeah. But anyway, go back to what we said. Fans banter. The worst one. But you definitely played the game. I don't know if you might have played in the game. We played Everton in a semi-final of the League Cup at Goodison Park. Do you
remember that?
We won 1-0. You scored in the first leg.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah, they had Jolien on the.
Yeah. And
what year that was?
2008.
No, I don't remember.
You might. Anyway,
I was there.
So like it was a proper like Goodison Park of the night. It was like proper hectic, and they were still in the game.
Every game there's like that though.
So it's a horrible place to play, which is a credit to their fans. And I've gone to take a corner, and I've gone to put the ball down, and you know that little corner there, they're on you. Hey, I can't say what they're saying, calling me everything under the sun, me, your wife, like. Ugh. But then someone's down injured. I put the ball down on the spot, and I'm like, I can't move now. So this geezer's battering me. These 3 or 4 geezers battering me. And I'm just like, oh. But if you walk away, because I can't even sort of down into. If you walk away, you look like you've melted a little bit. So I've got to give them back something. So I did do you remember you might not, do you remember the old Harry Enfield sketch with the Scousers? They used to do it with a big hair. They'll calm down. Yeah. I thought that's a gentle enough, like, for a bit of fun. I'm not being nasty. So I've gone, that really upset them. Really upset them.
Do, guys.
Calm down, calm down. I thought that's nice and fun. They got so angry, coming up, growling. I thought, God, I'm going to walk away now. So I just pretended to not do me lazy, like walk away. But like, I thought that was acceptable. I don't mind it going a bit of back and forth with the fans. I mean, this.
Yeah.
I'd have liked to have sprayed them with water. Like,
I don't mind it. I don't really give much back.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to come back and like bite me in the arse. You know what I mean? You end up going 1-0 down. So I like to keep quiet and
I know.
until you're a goal ahead.
I know.
Then once you're 2 ahead, then you start giving them a bit back because you've got a little bit of a cushion.
I know, but it's mad. Was you? Yeah, it was you the one, the West Ham one when the bottle come through on the way in.
It was me and you in the seat.
On the bus.
Yeah.
That was Tottenham, wasn't it?
Was it?
No, it's West Ham.
Oh, I thought it was Tottenham.
Yeah, no, West Ham.
Are you sure?
I think it was West Ham.
West Ham.
Oh, right, okay. I'm usually wrong then. Like that 4-second keeper rule.
We were sat together, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I just remember
Yeah, so we were at Chelsea at the time. Was it after the game? On the way to the game?
On the way to.
On the way to the game, we're sat on the bus, and all of a sudden, smash! The window just shattered. I think they threw a glass bottle at the bus or something, didn't they?
Yeah, God. Yeah, I remember. Wow.
I think we won that game.
Got us up for the game.
I think you set me up.
Now I know it was that game because I was going to come on to this. I was going to come on to some of your goals, and it's one that stands out for me, probably because I've played a part in it. But I remember I whipped this ball across to you, and the finish was a joke. Like you just opened up your foot and put it up into the top corner. Did he score that game? Or did you score 2?
I scored 2 that game.
You scored 2 that game, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
That was a
few
game.
lads who was sort of. I remember
the foreign lads were like,
Bullaroos managed to sort of disappear, and he was at the front of the coach with a driver. Where's Buller? We thought someone had dragged him out the window. For a big centre half, Buller, great lad, but he didn't. Yeah, he made sure he made a sharp exit.
Gets you up for the game, stuff like that, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was wired going into that game.
Yeah.
There was no way you'd lose that game because of that. But yeah, listen, that was obviously a little bit violent. But I think the spray can and a little bit of back and forth. I think the fans actually enjoy it. Yeah. I really do. I think, and you shouldn't. Obviously,
they didn't look like they did.
No,
they might be laughing about it now.
Oh, well, I hope if they're listening to this, I hope they can see the sort of the funny side of it.
If not, give Joe some abuse on Instagram.
I understand if they're going to give it, it's got to come back.
Give you a bit back.
Yeah, I mean it's all fun and games, isn't it? You know, sticks and stones and all that. Yeah, I mean, so it's been an interesting weekend. We get to your old team, right? Would I be right in saying Man City? That's your team, isn't it? Really? Yeah, that's your team. You come through. That's like you've had some.
Is your team?
Yeah, since about 16.
So Man City 2, Brighton 2. Now I watched the game back, and I thought that Brighton. How did he miss that chance at the end? Who was it at the far post? I can't remember.
Belieber missed one.
Belieber missed a great chance. But there was one where the guy, Minter, coming at the far post, and he just didn't touch it, tap it in. Like, I've never seen Man City for 10 years be this vulnerable, right? What's going on?
It's just a change. I think, Pete, what they've done within the last 10 years is just unbelievable. I think if you think about the 4 years where they won the trophy 4 times, the Premier League 4 times in a row as well, after you win the treble, when you win the 3rd Premier League trophy and you pick up the treble that season, nobody expected them to go on next season and win a league. You expect there to be some dip. Bearing in mind, half of them haven't rested since COVID. That's the same for all players as well.
Yeah.
So on top of playing 60-odd plus games a season, getting into the finals of everything, this year I think there was 2, because I was at the pre-season, there was 2 senior players the first 6 days or all of pre-season. All of them's missed pre-season. They haven't really been fit. few injuries, and I just think they're just going through transition. I just think people need to understand they're human, and there are fantastic other teams in the league. Now, I thought that game that I was at, I thought in stages until they conceded that great free kick from Estupiñán.
Yeah.
Brighton were kind of on the back foot.
Yeah.
But Brighton, you have to respect Brighton, man. They're a brilliant team to watch. They've got wicked wingers. They've got players that can hurt you all over the pitch. And they, in many ways, apart from the mistakes they make themselves, they defend pretty well as well.
Saying that, all the teams, you reckon that top half, the gap's not massive, is
It's
it?
close.
Between them all?
It's close.
I think to myself, I don't know who's going to win this. Whereas before you think, oh no, they win this day, they win this today.
It's close.
You know what I mean? I think it's hard to call.
Do you know what's a shame? Certainly not for Liverpool fans, but if Liverpool weren't that far ahead and all of them teams were that close.
Of course, anyone.
Crumble time is, and
Yeah. Yeah, Eric Crumble. It's one of his little. Yeah, okay.
We did talk about Eric Crumble before.
think I did.
Have we talked about Eric Crumble before on here?
No.
We need some verification. If there's any people out there,
That's facts.
someone
To
sent
check that.
Coley actually.
It was
I don't know.
Carlton
It's Carlton.
sent it.
A boxer called Eric Crumble that's had 31 fights and lost 31 by knockout.
Yes, correct.
And it's just tickled me. I would like to meet the geezer, but
I'm like, fair play to him. Just keep going, mate. That's
it can't be real.
I can't.
It can't be
listen,
real.
I'll just get knocked out 31 times and keep wanting to get
Mate,
back in the ring.
imagine
keep
the
wanting
first.
to, yeah, but that's persistent. It's dedication.
How does his coach lift him?
You know what I mean?
Stupidity.
Yeah, I look at it a different way, maybe. Fair play to you, mate.
Yeah, fair play. If he's real, Eric Crumble, please contact
I was
us.
up for a charity
'Cause we-
match.
Because we need that. Yeah, well, 30, but no, the 31 defeats by knockout.
Yeah, I'd love it if he knocked Carlton out. No, I wouldn't.
definitely not.
I wouldn't like to see it. I love Carlton.
We've gone off piste a little bit. here.
Yeah,
We're not
that
meant to,
usually
right?
happens.
Yeah, I know. Eric Crumble. Right. Erling Haaland has become the fastest player to 100 goals. Like, I mean, what can you say about him, right? He's just unreal, isn't he?
It's just the knack to, do you know what amazes me the most about him, Joe?
Go on, yeah.
You know, normally, like, we've all played, when you haven't got the ball,
Yeah.
you kind of go searching. You want to be in the... He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have the mentality to, like, say, no, I need to find my way into the game. He
Yeah.
just waits until it's his time in many ways to shine. But he does... Obviously, no one likes to miss chances, but it doesn't knock his confidence.
Yeah.
He just will go back and do it again and just keep going back and back. I think his mindset's phenomenal in terms of that.
Yeah, weren't he? If I remember right, his dad, obviously Alfie Ingle, was a Premier League player, a good footballer, and his mum was an athlete as well, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like she's been born to score goals. He's just incredible.
Brilliant, mate. Just the way he takes care of his body, you know, the way he talks about his diet and everything. It's like he seems really just focused.
Yeah.
I think that the point you brought up then, that a missed chance doesn't affect him. This is what you need as a footballer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you let a mistake affect you, it ruins your game.
Yeah.
It ruins your confidence. And you can see it in players sometimes. Confidence is a big thing in football. Yeah. And I think that's why mindset is massive.
Yeah.
And that is coming back to the kids thing at the weekend that I went to watch. And you can see it. It's like encourage each other, but also don't shout at each other when you make a mistake, because that's going to affect their confidence, especially as kids.
Yeah.
I think if you can learn at a young age that it doesn't matter if you miss, you carry on and you can deal with that, mate, it'll help anyone in the football game.
Yeah, I think that's you're right, actually. Forget these physical attributes, these technical attributes. It's what's between his ears, which is
which we all probably had a bit of. Do you know what I mean? You don't get there without having that mental strength. But it's also hard being up there, maintaining that, and the abuse you might get, the stuff you might get in the press. So I think working on the mental side of it as well as the physical side is very, very important.
That's the difference.
Very important. And he's definitely got it.
Yeah. So from one striker who can't stop scoring to one who's been on a drought since December the 12th at 21 games, Rasmus Højlund. Chalk and cheese, these two lads. talk about confidence. This lad really looked like he needed the goal, Rasmus Højlund, didn't he?
But he's got that mental strength to go on and get it.
Good.
He took it well. he took it well as well. He took it for someone with supposedly no confidence. He took the finish really, really well. Yeah. But I think it's been hard for him there as well, though. Man United are in a very, very bad place, and he almost plays like an old school striker in terms of he does a lot of running away from the goal. You need to kind of channel him to run towards the goal, and I think that comes from the manager. So he'll get more chances that way, because when you've got Bruno in your team, all you have to do is run and he'll find you.
Yeah.
Little mention of Bruno, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see his interview?
I did. What did you make of it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Liked the way he spoke, the respect that he had for Roy Keane. And for me, the bit that stood out was him accepting what has been said, even if he agrees with it or doesn't, but bits that he does maybe agree with, he'll work on. That's what I kind of took from that. Which I think was brilliant.
Mature, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was very mature.
Very mature.
Yeah, we know he's a brilliant footballer.
Yeah.
We all know that. Like, and everyone's got an opinion on how he...
It was like he was accepting it, and he will grow if he thinks if it's right, he use it and grow from it, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, it was really, really impressive, and I think he's... Listen, he'll be one of the very few people that come out of this spell with Manchester United with his head held high, and his sort of legacy
intact.
Not intact, but more elevated.
Yeah.
You know, because there's not many that are doing that for what they're doing there. But listen, I still think it's dismal for Leicester. They're 7 in a row. Manchester United, again, I think the same boat as Tottenham, where they have to win the Europa League, or I don't know what's going to happen. We talked about it last week, right? But they're building this
mad stadium.
Yeah, I don't know what to describe about it, but we'll see what's going on there. But we can't leave without getting into your fantastic career a little bit. I know we talked on Friday briefly, but Bridgie's particularly interested in doing this because he wants you to tell him how hard he was to play against. Give him his flowers.
Come on then.
Go on. Who's your hardest opponent?
No, it's always, to be fair, it's always been 2. Yeah. It's always been like for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's always been, to be fair, him.
Be more than 2.
No, but I mean in terms of a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like is you and Ash were always like, no problem, buddy. It's always been these two because of, they always... It was a philosophy. It was always like they defended by making me tired. So when I did have the ball, I didn't have the energy all the time to go at them, and that just used to annoy me. I used to get back and do the running back with them, but instead of them saying, "All right, he's followed me," and just go back into position. Neither of them would do that.
Yeah,
he would just keep running. He would just keep running down the outside, and then you had Ash, who, when he played, he wouldn't just run. He would just run all the way across the pitch, and I'm like, well, I can't go there. I don't know how to play the offside trap well, so I weren't trying to like stay in line with the centre with the fullbacks and that. So I just kind of just said, all right, hopefully they don't get the ball this time, and then there's kind of like a space there.
He was unreal though, when he was probably one of the best left backs. You probably say he's up there, one of the best left backs.
Who, Ash?
If not the best left back ever. Ash.
Yeah, I would say that.
Do you know what I thought he was so good at? Is timing and tackling.
Yeah,
because he didn't go down, Bridgie. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, his timing of his tackling was brilliant.
Yeah,
and getting the ball, I thought.
And he hated kicking the ball long. So whenever you think you're going to get it as an attacker, he'll either drag it inside or he'll just push it past you and run down.
Yeah,
run down
do you know, like, he brilliant. Bridgie, same. It was interesting. The players I see to give him a little bit of trouble was some like random ones, like Kevin Davis and people like that. Sort of
strong.
That sort of
strong.
You know, Marcus Bent. I think
he was fast as well, though. He's faster than you think.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they.
Yeah.
But it's. Right, your career, when you left Manchester City to go to Chelsea, you was at the top of your game. You was one of the best players in the league. Was it a case? Did you have to ask for the move, or did you want to go, or what was it?
Didn't know nothing about it.
Really?
Yeah, just got it started with Arsenal.
Really?
It's like the first thing that came up was Arsenal were very interested in signing you.
So your agent would have said to you, just a phone call, not there's been a bid. Arsenal were interested. What do you think? And what was your thoughts being a London lad and with your dad playing there and all that?
I honestly said, I'm happy where I am. I don't want to leave.
Really?
Because when I was playing football back then, I didn't think about playing for a big club. I just enjoy
happy where you were.
Yeah, I just enjoy playing football. And as a naive kid, you'd think you're just going to be at one club.
I think I was like that every move. I was just happy where I was.
Yeah, like there was no intention to move or anything. And then he just carried it. He just stopped talking to me about it after I said that. And then he said, and then he just came back to me and said, the club have accepted an offer.
Really?
I was like, what do you mean? I said, I don't want to go nowhere. And he just turned around and said, well, you don't really have a choice. So like I was on the way to a pre-season friendly. And obviously the words obviously got back to Stuart Pearce and that. And the boys like Paul Dickoff and Goltz and them, they'd said it's best you don't play just in case. So I didn't play. Next thing I know, the driver was outside for me to come to London and that was it. And I remember walking at Stamford Bridge down that little aisle towards the building when I was obviously going to sign, and I'm with Dad and Mitchell Thomas. Yeah. And you know, Dad's like a big kid, innit? Yeah. He's there like dancing around, excited. And I'm just... as I am, just walking. Yeah, he's like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you happy? I said, I am happy. He says, so why does your face look like someone just stole your wallet? And I was just like, Dad, you're the opposite of me. I'm like quite chilled. You're bubbly. As long as you're happy. I said, yeah, it is what it is. I'm here. Yeah. And I'm here to do the best I actually can do.
Yeah, that's incredible. People don't realise that when it comes to moves. It can be like that. You could be a lot of talking and it just happens and all of a sudden you're there, you're at a new club and you're doing a medical. Yeah. Is it similar with you, Southampton, when you went to Chelsea?
Yeah, pretty much same. I was happy. And do you know, I was a Southampton boy, but it was like they were always going. They were a selling club. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. It was going to happen, and the same when it was City. Though I was happy. I mean, you know, I wasn't playing all the time because Ashley was there, but I'd still play 25, 30 games a season. But it was an opportunity to go, and he had left, and we become good friends when he come to Chelsea. Yeah. So I kind of just followed him around. He's like, oh my God, not him again.
I know.
And then I didn't have to play against him, so it's good. Yeah, just played against him every day.
Yeah, keep it sharp. Iron sharpens iron, as they say.
What's your favourite club you've been to, or your favourite time?
What's your favourite? What's your?
When probably a good time at everything.
Yeah, when do you think you're playing your best football?
I would most probably say 2004, 2005 season, which would have been just before I came to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then I would say there was a spell at Chelsea where I was playing like in that midfield area. Yeah. Which was most probably, which
is that like in the hole?
On his back, yeah. Because that's where I scored goal.
I remember you playing that position. He was on fire. Yeah, he was brilliant.
And they were, I'd most probably say the highest spells that I had. I would say,
yeah. And you scored some absolute belters. I remember the first goal for England. I was injured, so I was missing the squad. What a goal that was, right?
Against Ukraine.
Wow. Do you remember it?
Yeah. I remember it, yeah.
Because there's so many aspects of it. Yeah. Because the first thing I remember, I used to love Bex, by the way, because he was so like humble, bearing in mind I'm breathing down his neck to try and get in space. He always really wanted me to do well. And I remember when I was coming on for him, he said, look, go out there and show them what you're made of, because you deserve to have started this game, because I haven't played the way I normally play. And that kind of, without realising, that kind of just said, wow, Bex has just given me like a pat on the back, a bit more confidence for me. And when I did get the ball, I was like, it's like 15 yards in front of me. So I just carried on running, and the gap never closed until I realised I was at the edge of the box, and I was like, I'm going to have a go here and see what happens. And then it just went in.
Across the goalie, wasn't it? Best goal, or?
I always say the one at Highbury, 1-1. Dad was in the crowd that made it even better because he scored against his team. But I mean, like I think that was a team of the Invincibles where you just couldn't beat them at Highbury. And I remember coming on when I was a kid, and I was coming on to the game, and it was like 4-0 Arsenal, and Joe Rowe was bringing me on, and I'm thinking, well, what are you bringing me on the pitch for? Like, what am I going to do here? And then we went there and we managed to come away with a 1-1. And I remember, I think Barton tackled maybe Vieira on the edge of the box, and it came to me, and I just kind of just let fly.
Yeah, I remember it. It's a sick strike. I remember. I mean, you had a great career. Is there any sort of, going back to Man City was brilliant for you as well, and you sort of started at that great,
the journey.
The journey.
Yeah.
You saw the start of that. I mean, is there anything not that you regret about your career, but you could have? Do you think you could have stayed on a bit longer there? How long was you there for when you went back? 3 years?
4 years. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
When I went back, I did have the option.
Right.
But it was back then. It was different. It was like a toss-up. Either leave, play more football.
Yeah.
Don't get call-ups for England or stay.
Yeah.
And just thingy. Mancini didn't say he wanted to sell me.
Right.
I just said like it was kind of like I'm getting old now. I want to play. I just want to play football. I want to enjoy the game, sort of thing. And that's what it was more of than anything.
Yeah.
Just wanted to play football again.
What did you see? Because you'd obviously come to Chelsea, won loads of trophies, and then Manchester City were now we were going to be the new guys in town. What did you see from what they were doing that you knew that they were going to be top players? I think you would have seen David Silva come in, right? You would have seen Yaya's.
I've always put him up there with one of the best I've played with.
When he come in, and I remember me and Jolien when he's first there training, we was having a laugh. I think you might have been around that time.
Yeah, I was there.
And I said to me and Jolien, looked at him, like bearing in mind I'm small as well.
Yeah.
Was like, he's only little, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Jolien was laughing because obviously that's come from my mouth.
Pot calling.
And then like you just saw instantly within a few touches, and it was like, oh my God, he's like a magician. You can't get the ball off him.
Yeah,
right? And then that's when everyone started calling him Merlin. He was just scary. And then you had Tevez.
Yeah.
He was probably the worst trainer, but the best player.
Mate,
he was
just
a switch.
comes alive. And he used to run all day.
It was
unbelievable. But in training, he was just so relaxed, didn't really do a lot. And then game day, he was like a pit bull, mate.
It was scary.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, just like he was like a proper light switch.
Blows my mind. Yeah, because he come to Man City after Man United. That was the big one when it's like, wow, how are they? That was what for me. That was the pivotal moment when I from standing from the outside. I think I was I still at Chelsea or was I think I'd gone, but I don't know. But I remember thinking to myself, there's a shift in power here. Man, they're buying man. Trust me, Tevez was. We played against Tevez and that Man United team. He was vital for that. Everyone thought Rooney and Ronaldo. What a player he was. And if they're taking him to Man City, there's a shift in power. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, you could kind of see it, especially in the games that we were playing, and it almost changed instantly. I remember Arsenal coming there, we're beating them 3-1. Remember, wherever and however Mark Hughes played us, we just seemed to get the best out of us. And against the bigger teams, we seemed to cause them all sorts of problems. And then we started beating United, and then when you got like Bellamy on the wing as well, and then you got Robinho, you got Alano, Stevie Ireland, everybody played a massive part.
He was a player, Stevie.
Everyone
Stevie
played such a big part.
You're telling me that?
He was a player.
Yeah.
He was really. I'd probably say he didn't reach
his full height. Yeah, no,
really?
he didn't. No,
he didn't reach it. Some of the stuff he used to do in training, his vision, passing was.
And he could run all day as well.
Really? Another one who, sadly, for injury, I thought I didn't realise how good he was what's his name, the midfielder, knee injuries, Johnson.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah. He was a player as well, but injuries killed him. He was a good player.
Right.
Injuries and maybe some other things, but he was a player as well. Yeah. You were there for Chelsea and City, weren't you, when they were probably at that time being really, really good? Who would you say was probably the better?
I'd honestly, can't talk about it now, but I'd most really say Chelsea at the time. When I first signed for Chelsea, that had everything. That was like a powerhouse, and we didn't just leave it as that. We just carried on adding like your Essians, your Obis, like your Kalous, your Malouda. It just got bigger and better all the time. Whereas the only thing I would say with Cities is different is the longevity. Yeah. The way they've done it, it was good when it was good, but it got better and better over the 10 years, you know what I mean? And they seem to keep it going, whereas Chelsea's kind of, in many ways, run out of gas.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Man City respond from this season.
And Chelsea.
You know, like, and
And Spurs.
Well, they're always interesting. All right.
Hey, just like to say thanks for coming along
Pleasure,
and
man.
in for Carlton.
Anytime.
And
So just let him know.
been a pleasure.
I was better.
Yeah,
We will. We're calling straight after.
he'll be having a bit of pasta
Don't worry
on
about
Lake
next
Como
week,
now
mate.
with Dele Alli, just chatting about.
Thanks, Shaun, for filling in for Carlton. I'm sure we'll have you back again soon. Thanks for listening to The Dressing Room with our Arabiya News. Catch you next week.